Hey Matt, what's up? Just working, working, working. So we're on a house. She called me and she's got single deadbolts on her house right now and wants double deadbolts. Her husband has dementia and it's getting real bad and he's starting to wander at night. He's starting to get out of the house, she says. And she gets a call from the neighbors or what have you that he's down the street type of thing. So she wants double deadbolts put on the house so she can keep him from wandering like that. That's unfortunate. Oh, where did I come up with that key? The wrong key. No idea how I came up with that key. Just went and fixed a lock for someone yesterday in that same situation. Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate, you know? What are we going to say this is right here? Looks like 46315. Right? Let's try it. There's a 4. There's a 6. There's a 3. There's a 1. And let's go with a 5. Winner. All right, let me see what you wrote here. So, uh, did a 2002 Tacoma today that just about beat me. Ignition and door locks had been. Oh, man. And we're not the same key. Oh, no. So, yeah. So, did you have to pick everything with the leashy to get the numbers, or what? Without giving any secrets, trade secrets away. I know there's several different ways to get those, but they're all a pain in the butt if it's not OEM, you know. So we're taking off here right now. We're all right. I'm back. Come on, what the heck? So the phone doesn't ring for 20 minutes, and as soon as I go live, whammo, it goes crazy. Let me see to they were TR40 keyways, yeah, for some reason. Okay, not the 47. TR40, what? Those are older though. Took apart the door and impression. Oh, jeez, I don't know how you do that. That's above my pay grade, man. Well, good. Hopefully you got it. Hopefully you got it running. Sounds like you did. Good news is there's no chip, but bad news is it's not a fun job to do. All right. And sorry, guys, when the video pauses here, uh, when the video pauses, that means my phone's ringing. So you don't gotta leave. Because I'm gonna come right back, but it just pauses because the phone rings. Why is that one not right? Why is that one not right? What the heck is going on here? We gotta go. Yeah, those turtle locks and ignitions must be interchangeable from the early '90s. Yeah, okay. Yeah, TR-47. That's what I was thinking, but hey, you would know better than I do. You do way more vehicles than I do, which is pretty cool. It's interesting. This side of the lock, the pins are all different sizes. The other side, everything went right to cut. Whoa. What the actual hell is going on here? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Oh, that's why. Hmm. God, that thing fought the whole time. Isn't that interesting that you can have one side of the lock, the pins are perfect to the cut. You go the other side, they're not even close. There's just that big of a difference in manufacturing or something. I'm not sure. Yeah, it is a Wiser. Yep. And so they got quick on the house, but I would typically put quick back on this. But I don't have two double deadbolts, and I got two Wisers, so we went with the Wiser, and then I'll have to buy more of the quick double deadbolts. So yeah, I didn't have the quick set. I thought I did. I have them in brass, but they didn't. These aren't brass. So you gotta do what you gotta do. So it sounds like you got a busy day today, which is pretty cool. Good for you. Sounds like you're getting a bunch of vehicles, which is really cool. I'm jealous. What do we got? Pop that guy out. Yeah, 100 degree. Yeah. Shit, right now it's a 109 here right now. You know, I haven't messed with any. I don't see very many Sergeant or Yale. Uh, I don't see very many of those out here at all. It seems out here everything is Schleg. You know, I don't see very many of those at all, unfortunately. You know, it's interesting about that LFIC. Oh, the large format. Yeah, I don't see many of those at all. I see lots of Schleg here though. Whoa, it's not even close. Yeah, I don't do a lot of IC core. Uh, I had a school that went to the IC core, so because of that, I ultimately wanted to go to the small format. So I had to go buy all the stuff. I had to learn to do it. They had about 100 locks, and yeah, that was a task learning that system. That's a whole nother animal right there. Whole nother animal. Really? All right. Ooh, what the hell is going on? I think my timers might be kicking in. I don't think it's the lock. So that's a 4. This is a 4. Let's drop it down for wiser. Okay. So 1 and a 5. Here's the 1. Alright, well now I did it. Alright. Well, this one is really fighting back. So close. The realities of locksmith and some locks. Sometimes it happens, right? Up here in New England, yeah, I did. It was Sergeant Yale Corbin. Okay. Schleg Larson. Okay. Yeah, I don't see, I work in a retirement area, Hey, Laredo, I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. I got a pretty cool, I got a lock challenge coming up on locksmithblueprint.com. I'm in the process of making it. Got a lock challenge for you guys. So keep an eye out for that over there at locksmithblueprint.com. Which one of these just gave me that headache that I had to shim? Oh, it's that one. That I had to shim the friggin' lock. This one has me on the struggle bus. Yeah, I got some really cool stuff coming down the pipe. All right. This is kind of some of the issues you run into, right, when you use a pre-existing key. So I run into these things. One, two, three. I run into these things because, but a customer has the key. So when you start using the key, you know, and they got two keys. You gotta get both the keys to work. You just gotta do what you gotta do. I like it dry. I like it prom night slippery. But I feel the drag. I feel it's heavy right here. And it's weird. I can pin one side, the other side totally different pins. And it's still that pin right there. That same piece of shit pin. Aha. There we go. Still feels weird. Not sure what it is. You know that when you can kind of feel it's a little weird. It still works fine. It works fine. The customer probably wouldn't even notice any of this, but I notice it, and I have an issue. I have an issue of just saying, okay, no, that'll work. It works fine. You know what I mean? Because I can feel something and I know it's there. So why, if you feel something now, that something's going to be way bigger later in life, right? So why not the damn thing now? Wait, what are you guys saying back there? Hang on a sec. I do operate in the desert. Yeah, right. You're not supposed to just file the plug and make it work, right? You know, I can't. You know how many of those I see every day because you probably see the same thing. I get so many of those. Had a hiccup on the red pins. All right. Well, now you did it. Unless I put it in there already. Shit, her. Guess what? Bill can't find. This is going to be one of these. I could. Okay, I'm not going to freak out. Make that pin work quicker. What did he do? How did he do that? On the drill down on top of the pin? All right, well, Bill has lost spring. I think it's. I got another one here though. I think it's stuck to my arm. It was sitting over here on the left. Right. Damn spring. I think it. So I had it sitting right here, and I have my arm right here. So I think when I'm moving around, I think it's stuck, and then it's on this somewhere. What do you do? All right, just. I only got two double deadbolts to deal with here, so you know what? I'm not gonna reinvent the wheel. I'm not gonna freak out. I'm not gonna shit the bed here, because you know things can go sideways quick. Ideally, I never like to use a customer's key, an existing key, but that's all they got. So it is what it is. Yeah, I'll find it in an hour after I leave. Right, right. I did replace it, so that's the good part. But I already had to shim the stupid thing. I already put it together and then had to shim it. I mean, go figure, right? It's just one of those things. And again, it's that key, that customer key, and typically I don't like to do it, but they got 9 locks on the house, and they're adding these double deadbolts. It's just more economical to rekey it to those two keys. Make sure those two keys work, and that way, if they get copies of either of those keys, it's gonna work. So let's put this in a different spot. Maybe let's put this up yonder, up there. Oh, you know what? That was the right spring. Cancel that. That was the right spring. It did spring out though, but that was the right spring. Huh. All right. Yes. Yes. Thank you, Matt. Yes. They have dementia, and the husband is breaking free. It's kind of a bummer, you know. All right. Here's a four. That's fine. Here's a six. Here's a three. Yeah, and I don't know what would you suggest, Chris? What would be a safer way? What do you think would be a safer way that she could operate it, but he can't? As long as I've been doing it, is how to accommodate this type of customer, this type of issue. Should get him better care. Yeah, I don't know. His wife is the one caring for him. That would be a tough thing to really go through. When he gets up and you think he's just getting up to go to the bathroom or something, and next thing you know, you're getting a call from the neighbor. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I don't know how it plays out, but I'm just kind of thinking it would be really hard to manage that and watch that. You mean that money is a huge factor to get care, to get some sort of care for this gentleman? Yeah, I don't know what you would do. I don't know dementia, Alzheimer's. That they're things that I mean that just they're non-reversible. You don't want to just throw somebody out to the pasture for that. And I work in these retirement communities, so you can and so I was a first responder. I was with the sheriff's office for 12 years over here. And the area that I work in, they call the first responders call it Heaven's Waiting Room. It's a place where they can come and have just a blast and do whatever, whatever. But this is usually their final home and their final, whatever's. Yeah, and they do. They have that now. She has that. She's got alarms when a door opens up, and yeah, and that's kind of what she says. That's what she's kind of dealing with. Some nights, 5 or 6 times in the night, that people have to go through this. Diseases are no fun. Well, I don't. Yeah, on your spouse, I don't. I don't know about that, but yeah, I don't know about that. I'm not sure. I don't. I'm not sure how you fix it, right? Unless you're willing to get up, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 20 times a night to bring your spouse back in the house. Every time the alarm goes off means they're leaving the door, so you gotta get up and go out and get them. I mean, how much of that do you take? Uh, where is the breaking point for people? Who knows? Who knows? It's sad that there's a disease like that out there, but all right. Well, I'm gonna go put these on the house so I can move on to the next one. I would imagine if he has dementia, she has power of attorney, so imprisonment would be a stretch. Yeah, she has power of attorney. It's her husband. Yeah, I mean, right? Even by putting the sensor on, you got to get up and address the situation, right? I mean, you obviously hope a fire never shows up, but some people get to the point that that's the risk they would rather take. They would rather have the securement for 10 years or 15 years or 20 years and hope that fire never shows up, but I don't know. What do you do? Yeah, you know what I mean? There's no real code about it. What do you do? It's a real common thing out here. Yeah, it's a tough. It's and in this type of scenario, I mean, it's not that uh, it's one of those things that even if you kind of know better or morally, you're like, yeah, hey, you might not want to do that. That's the same thing as buying your kid a car that you know can do 100 miles an hour, and they hit somebody. Should you get sued because you gave them a car that could go that fast? You know what I mean? It's just kind of it's stretching. It's reaching for things. Yeah, she ended up miles away. Yeah, yeah. So the interesting thing about this. So I was. So I look at the ugly mug now. So I was with the sheriff's office here for about 12 years, and a lot of those years when I was search and rescue. So when a big search would pop up, I would leave patrol and go on the search. So my group, what we specialized, there was 13 of us. So when somebody ended up missing, sometimes urban area, but the majority, out and about, out in the desert, out we got mountains here, we got a lot of stuff out here, and almost everything out here will kill you, especially the heat, right? It's 111 degrees here right now. But my group, what we did, we were supervisors, so they would get you might have on a search 100 people, 150 people, whatever it is. My group was in charge of all the other little packets that we would make to disperse out there. And my specialty was night navigation, and all of our special. So that's what we did. We did man tracking and navigation was our specialty. Uh, I can navigate. Night navigation was my specialty. So all of us can navigate. All of us can night navigate. Just some were better than others at it. So with the dementias and different stuff, if you guys look on the map, look at Sun City, Arizona. If you look at Sun City, Arizona, and you'll see that Sun City, Arizona is made in circles. It's like a dartboard. There's rings. There's rings like a tree. There's rings. They're all circle. And when this community was developed back in the 60s, it was for people who were sick that had different, lung diseases and dementia and Alzheimer's and just different things because of our weather, right? And kind of the thought process they had of it being in a circle like that, some forms of dementia and Alzheimer's, some forms of that, they don't have the ability to navigate. So they could literally walk to a street that's a T. They can come to that T and they don't know that they're supposed to go right or left and navigate that way. They get to a point that they can't get any further and they don't know what to do. They're either going to turn around, which happens half the time. The other half, they're going to sit down. They're going to park it. They're going to just sit there because they don't know what the solution is, right? So the thought process on those city setup, they're in a circle, that if they do wander, that they wander in a circle. Not that they're going to wander and come right back to the house, but they're not going to right, left, right, left, right, left, and you have no idea where they're at, right? They're typically going to end up on some port of this dartboard, if you will. And it's interesting learning search and rescue, all the different traits that people have, all the different things at different ages, how people think, how you think as an infant, how you think as a toddler, an infant, and early teen, a teen, an adult. There's all these have different thought processes of navigating life. And because of all these different levels of you being a human, everybody, they all interact, they act different. So knowing the patterns, it's important to know the age of your target. Your your the person, other, do they play sports? There's a bunch of these different questions, all give tendencies on what people are likely to do when lost, right? And you can figure all the hunters, right? Hunters, if a hunter typically gets lost out and about, to the point of not that, yeah, I went out hunting and I got lost for a day and what have you. I'm talking these people are lost, and they're talking ultimately could be life or death, right? I've found been on several searches where we found people that were no longer with us, which is unfortunate. But example of a hunter, right? Where do most hunters go, right? Most hunters peak, right? Because most hunters do a lot of this. So they're always towards the peak or the ridge of small mountain areas. They're in saddles, right? If not necessarily the point of a mountain, but they'll even go to a saddle of a mountain. The point being is they're always higher than everything else. Whereas in the gatherer, right, is going to be, we get them people that do much different, they gather different things. They're going to be opposite, right? They're going to be opposite. They're going to be down at the very bottom, at the water, at the whatever, because that's where all these resources, whatever it is they do. So all of these different things are really cool. We have a system that's called walked on. So I imagine a toddler would be like someone with no. So a toddler, and just like this gentleman right here with Alzheimer's, right? This guy is 80. So he's at the same point, right? You think of when you raise a kid. There's a time in their life where they're so young that the honesty is there, right? They just don't know what wrong is, right? Did you choke the cat? Well, yeah. Okay, why? Well, I don't know. Then there becomes an age when you're getting 5, 6, 7 years old that did you choke the cat? They're like, no, I didn't see a cat. I don't even know what you're talking about. Where they're lying, right? Did you eat the cookie? No, I did nothing. Look, there's only 2 of us in the house, and the cookie's gone. I didn't eat, right? So they get into that lying point because they know there's trouble. Then you got the teenage area, right, where you start to rebel, right? So think of these things when you're out looking. You got one whole section through life where everything's good. You're lost. You know you're not going to get in trouble. Hey, I'm over here. I'm over here. Right? You want to be found. It's not against the law to go out and not want to be found. Not against the law, right? Uh, but as they start to get older, you get through that whole normal period of life. Now, when you start climbing up in age, now you start getting back to the teenage years, the rebellion, the rebellion age, right? You don't want to be caught. You don't want to be found. You don't want to this. You know, we could be active, and it's happened. We've actively looked for people, and they seen us, and they didn't call us. They didn't nothing, you know. And then you get to the real older people, and then they turn to that toddler that, you know. And I don't know, I'm out here in the desert. We live in the desert, but through all the wooded countries in the 80s, they had a program that was called Hug a Tree. I don't know if any of you ever heard it. It's called Hug a Tree program. And it was made for the smaller people, right? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 era, right? It was made for those little people. Hug a Tree. That if you ever got lost, don't wander and start looking on how to get back. You need to isolate. You need to just stop. You need to stay where you're at, and you're going to be found because you got people out looking for you. But if you're walking around and you got a guy looking for you, huh? What the hell? Where the hell is this guy? He ain't out here at all for sure. You know what I mean? You end up with that scenario. And yeah, so what'd you say here? Or that lady that I did a documentary on her, mom who would go to the same movie multiple times. All right, sorry again. All right, sorry again. Phone rings. Saw the same movie multiple times because she forgot she saw it, and all the bananas because she forgot she ate one. Right. I guess yeah, they got lost. They would probably. Yeah. So well, and look at it's like that movie, 50 First Dates. Did you ever see that? You're talking about that person right there. That movie, 50 First Dates. If you've never seen that, check that movie out. It's actually pretty good. Adam Sandler movie, 50 First Dates. Uh, But anyway, yeah, so that's what we're doing. We're putting these double deadbolts on here, and people have mixed feelings about this. It's what do you do? Damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's you know, yeah. What do you do? You got somebody constantly running out. What do you do? Do you physically stop them each time? Do you? I mean, which you have to. But at what point do you say, okay, enough is enough? I can't I can't stop this person 400 times a day because of a disease. What's the fix? You know what I mean? I could understand the frustration, you know. But all right, let me go put this stuff on the house, and I think after this, I don't believe I have anything else. I think shop. Let me look. Let me go put these. It's all backwards. Double wiser antique. So anyway, let me go get that going. I'll chat with you all a little bit later here.